पावकानः सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती यज्ञं वष्टुधिया वशुः भूदीपदेवरूपस्त्वं कर्म साक्षीय विघ्नकृत् यावत् कर्म समाप्तिश्च तावत् त्वं सुस्थिरो भव सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे ज्ञानरूपिणीं यज्ञारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
Thank you, everyone. Farewells have never been easy. With a heavy heart and a lot of gratitude, let us take a moment to celebrate the achievements and insights that have emerged from the thought provoking discussions with intellectuals from different parts of the globe. To apprise everyone, we had 3 plenary sessions, 14 technical sessions, an open house discussion, and release of souvenir during the conference. To celebrate the event, we have with us today Professor Nageshwar Rao, Vice Chancellor IGNOU, as the chief guest for the valedictory. Can we have a round of applause for Sir? IGNOU is the largest open university in the world. Though IGNOU is a central university and NIOS an autonomous institution under the Ministry of Education, we are synonymous in the type of clientele we deal in, our transactional strategies, student support systems, open and distance learning, providing flexible learning options, and most importantly, both working with a common goal of reaching the unreached. NIOS can significantly benefit from IGNOU's expertise, resources, and best practices in open and distance learning and looks forward to future collaborations that can mutually benefit both the organizations. I request Chairperson NIOS Professor Sarosh Sharma ma'am for the felicitations. Vice Chancellor IGNOU is a visionary leader whose dedication and commitment towards the cause of education has transformed the landscape of open and distance learning. Sir is said to have blessed with the greatest treasure of all times, and that is his simplicity. Sir, with folded hands and a lot of humility, we thank you for sparing some time to celebrate this event with us. We have with us Professor Ramashankar Dubey, Vice Chancellor, Central University of Gujarat. Sir is a biochemist and academic leader, a revered figure in academia with 47 plus years of teaching and research experience, and is our esteemed guest for today's valedictory. We have with us Professor Ashok Chakrawal, Vice Chancellor, Guru Ghasidas Vishwavidyalaya in Bilaspur, a central university. Sir is an administrator and an academician with over 30 years of administrative and academic experience in leading universities and corporates. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, sir. The National Education Policy 2020 aims to bring about 2 crore out-of-school children into the mainstream of education, and we don't have enough brick and mortar schools to cater to the same. Hence, open schooling is the only viable option. And for us to perform better, it is very important to research and collaborate. It has been an enriching journey that we have undertaken together over the last 2 days, and it is rightly said, the end of one journey is simply the start of another. Hence, the conference may come to an end, but the knowledge generated shall lead to new practices and researches in open and distance learning. Open schooling has not been researched the way it should have been. When it comes to research studies, focus has been on ODL in general or higher education, and open schooling seems a bit neglected. Hence, organizing such conferences by an open school like NIOS holds utmost importance. Chairperson NIOS has been relentlessly working each day to take NIOS to newer heights. She has shown exemplary leadership in bringing together a diverse team of individuals. Ma'am had a clear vision for the conference, gave meticulous attention to the details, and ensured that every aspect of the event was meticulously planned and executed. In essence, the conference was only made possible because of her boundless energy and the motivation that infused in all of us. Ma'am, can I kindly request you to deliver the welcome address and set the tone for the session? Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Anshul. But I disagree with you in one thing. You, my friend sitting over here, entire CEMCA team, it was a joint team effort. Thank you very much for being part in this academic endeavor. Last 2 days have been very enchanting, and I hope we have been able to achieve the goals which were set initially. Today I won't speak much because we have visionary dignitaries who are sitting over here, and the task which is given to me is to welcome them. So I will focus on welcoming them only. Yes, there were plenary sessions, 3 very enchanting plenary sessions, 7 technical sessions, and I've heard that in morning there was a very fruitful open house discussion. So in any conference, the passion and the mission, these two things are very important. So we all can witness the collaborative passion and collaborative mission. I hope that it will bring results in future. As she rightly said that open schooling system, open and distance mode, IGNOU is in higher education at national level and NIOS is a national board. So open schooling, I think it will bring a paradigm shift after the recommendation of National Education Policy 2020 because we have given greater responsibility of mainstreaming the out-of-school children. So let's hope we will collectively bring results and the entire scenario will be changing. So it's a pleasure and great honor for me to welcome the dignitaries who are present over here. I welcome Professor Nageshwar Ravji, a distinguished figure in the realm of education and academia. And as he rightly said, Professor Dubey, that he is a Bhishma Pitama, I think Vice Chancellor Bhoj University. So we all consider him our guru. So I welcome you, sir. As the Vice Chancellor of the prestigious Indira Gandhi National Open University, he brings with him a wealth of experience and expertise. His journey in academia is adorned with notable achievements, including his tenure as Vice Chancellor of Uttarakhand Open University, Vice Chancellor of Uttar Pradesh Rajarshi Tandon Open University. Professor Rao's academic pursuits have been recognized with numerous accolades, including his fellowship at the Commonwealth of Learning Canada and the prestigious D.Litt honorary by K.K. Hendrick Open University, Guwahati, D.Phil from University of Allahabad, as well as from Institute of Cost and Management Accounts of India, Kolkata. This is a very brief introduction. He is involved in many academic forums of India and abroad, many curriculum framework teams, policy making teams of India, Government of India banks upon him a lot. I welcome you, sir. Namaskar. And the reason also I'm standing over here, he was in my selection committee for NIOS chairmanship. So let's welcome Professor Ramashankar Dubeji. Last 2 days, we have also, we are a witness of his academic acclaim. and the way he presents his person of agricultural sciences. He is a scientist and a good academician. So is the Vice Chancellor of Central University of Gujarat, Gandhinagar. Prior to this, he served as Vice Chancellor of Tilakha Manjhi, Bhagalpur University, Bhagalpur, Bihar, and also as Vice Chancellor at Guru Ghasidas University, Bilaspur, Chhattisgarh. Professor Dubey has over 47 years of experience in research and 38 years of experience in teaching. He has served as head of the Department of Biochemistry at Banaras Hindu University for 4 years, for more than 9 years. And I would request Director Vocational over here, Bansalji, please invite him. Sir, give us some time for your lecture on agricultural sciences. I know you are an expert of agriculture और agriculture scientist की तरह और agriculture के field में इनसे बढ़ के देश में कोई नहीं है. So, I welcome you, sir. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Professor Alok Kumar Chakrawal ji. Currently, he is the Vice Chancellor of Guru Ghasidas Vishwavidyalaya, Bilaspur, and he is taking his legacy so nicely. And with his own academic arena, he has held key administrative positions for over 19 years and holds 31 years of teaching experience in higher education. He has achieved 8 national and international awards in the field of research and publication. He has also it has a very formal system. Yes, boundaries are not there. We have planks of opportunities, horizon of plenty of opportunities where we can explore many more things, many more arena to excel and also make party to other areas of society. We are directly linked with the community in many other things where conventional mode cannot do, their open and distant mode comes. In higher education and school education, we have discussed many themes based on this, and I think we collectively we will achieve the goals. So I won't take much time. We have academicians sitting over here, but yes, my 5 directors, please stand up. Thank you very much. Director evaluation is still working there. They have coordinated so nicely, so nicely. Dr. Shadrek's team, Monica, and others, please stand up. Thank you very much. See, Anshul will not give me time for saying you thanks personally, so I'm stealing this opportunity. My friends who have come across India, the friends who have come across the borders of India, thank you very much. Thanks for coming. बहुत से यूनिवर्सिटी से दिख रहे हैं, आप आए हैं, thank you very much. Paper presenters, I hope you must have taken some tidbits from this academic extravaganza, and we will very soon publish the proceedings of the seminar, and selected papers will be published. Entire team NIOS, entire team Commonwealth CEMCA, you did marvelously well. So collectively, we will achieve our goals. Thank you. Thank you for coming in this valedictory session. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your contributions will surely be remembered and cherished by all those who had an opportunity to be a part of this transformative event. Thank you, ma'am. It was inspiring to see the vice chancellors, senior professors, scholars, practitioners, policymakers, and students come together to exchange ideas, share best practices, and make meaningful collaborations. But beyond the academic discourse that expanded our knowledge, we also got an opportunity to strengthen our bonds. Moments cherished and the friends made shall always be remembered. Each individual brings a wealth of knowledge, experience, and innovation to our valedictory session, and it is our privilege to showcase their unique talents and accomplishments. Here, I invite my friend, Ms. Achal Goswami, to take the session forward.
Thank you, ma'am. A very good morning, everyone. We are extremely honored today for the valuable presence of Professor Alok Kumar Chakrawal. Currently, he is the Vice Chancellor of Guru Ghasidas Vishwavidyalaya, a central university in Bilaspur. He is an alumni of MG Kashi Vidyapeeth and Oxford University. He has over 25 years of research experience and 19 years of administrative experience. So we invite you for your special address, please.
Thank you, Achal, for inviting me. My most respected gurus, Professor Nageshwar Rao on the dais, Professor Ramashankar Dubey ji, Professor Saroj ma'am, Sadrat Saab, my friends in the audience, Professor Karamjit ji, Sanjay ji, and many more friends here. See, you cannot avoid distance and online mode. If you are really serious about achieving and attaining targets of NEP 2020. It is very clearly mentioned, GR has to be 50% by 2035. Who else will? And this was a big mind blockage that, okay, degree has to be honored and degree has to be regarded only when it is in the physical mode. And now syllabus has been broken, very drastically broken. And we realize the value, the significance, the importance, inevitability of online and distance learning. And the result is, last year we established Digital University. Academic Bank of Credit allows us to go and create our own, design our own degree. Of course, NIOS is doing good, but 3.5 million students, not more than that. And we need to go for 350 millions, not that. This is very less amount, I tell you. So we have to somehow go and reach. The inclusiveness will come only then. When we are saying accessibility, inclusiveness, quality, and this and that, many more things. In my very beginning talk, I told that in 2011, only 3 lakh people were registered under MOOCs, and in 2022, it was 22 crore people getting their degrees and kind of learnings and courses from online MOOCs and all that. And we, people sitting here in the house have to take the torch of, spreading the idea that, okay, online and distance learning is in the streamline, it is in the main line. And that will be the real cause served by such kind of events when we are meeting here. This I mean very seriously. At every institute, every university, every school and college has to take the initiative to partner with online distance learning education institutions. And that is the ultimate thing which we need to do. There are many more, senior people who will share their ideas. Professor Nageshwar Rao ji, of course, he has spent more than a decade in online distance learning because he was earlier with Prayagraj, he was earlier with Doon and many, probably third or fourth university in online mode and regular also. Professor Ramashankar Dubey, very senior person, so I would not take much of time, but my concern is that are we really taking it forward? Are we going to percolate it to the ground level? That is the concern, and if we are not doing, we will not achieve and attain the target. So online and distance mode has to bring in the mainstream. That is the only message I wanted to give. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words of wisdom, sharing your experiences, and from the warm wishes for the session. Moving ahead, it is with great honor and enthusiasm that I introduce a visionary leader and academician, Professor Ramashankar Dubey, the Vice Chancellor of the Central University of Gujarat. Sir has been awarded Top 10 Most Cited Author Award by Elsevier Publications. He was also honored with Lifetime Achievement Award of Indian Society of Agricultural Biochemists in the year 2023. He has also been ranked among the top 2% scientists in the world in the survey conducted by Stanford University, USA. Being nominated by the Government of India, Ministry of Education, he served as member, Board of Governors of IISCR Mohali, and visitors nominee for faculty selections at IIT Madras, IIT Guwahati, and IIT Kharagpur. He has been serving as chairman and member of NAC peer teams for many universities and colleges for many years. He is presently serving as member of various governing executive councils of several state and central bodies. He is a fellow of the Indian Society of Agricultural Biochemists, Biotech Research Society of India. He is also serving as member on the editorial board of the Journal of Agronomy and Crop Science. With these words, we request you, sir, to kindly enlighten us with your special address. Please.
Most respected Professor Nageshwar Rao ji, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Indira Gandhi National Open University, Professor Alok Kumar Chakrawal ji, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Guru Ghasidas University, Bilaspur, Madam Saroj Sharma ji, Chairperson NIOS, Professor Jadik, and I can see Professor Tiwari ji, Vice Chancellor, Open University, Bhoj Open University, Bhopal, Professor Karamjit Singh ji, Vice Chancellor Open University in Punjab, and many other fellow Vice Chancellors, academicians, ladies and gentlemen. For the last 3 days, very fruitful deliberations have been made related to the role of ODL in providing education. India is a country with around 1.4 billion population, and majority of the students who are to be educated, they live in rural areas and remote areas. And as pointed out, it is open and distance learning has an important role to play when we talk about that bringing education to the unreached persons and to the remote areas of our country. Now the thing is that what type of education we are going to provide and what type of education we have provided so far. So we are unable to match with the requirement of skills in our country in various sectors. So those are very vital issues which we have to look into. And there is the role of NEP 2020 there, that we want that type of education where we can produce global citizens who can address the problems faced by the society, problems at different levels. But at the same time, I would like to point it out that this is the first policy in the independent India, which talks about nationality, which talks about the Indian values, which talks about the Indian culture and Indian ethos. So our young generation has to be trained with the Indian values and traditions, because India is the country known for many, many thousands of years for its rich heritage and culture. So our youngsters, first they should be trained with those values. Now, whether it is through the general education, classroom education, or through a ODL mode, we have to bring such courses so that the students get attracted towards Indianness. For example, I would like to point out all our visionary educationists of India, whether Swami Aurobindo, Swami Vivekananda, Mahamana Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya ji, they all have advocated the role of spiritual education along with our general education. That if we talk about our ancient civilization from the very beginning, our ancient rishis, the scientists, they always believe that spiritual education, adhyatmik vidya, spiritual education and worldly education, that bhautik vidya, that should go together. That's why they classified vidya into the two, paravidya and aparavidya, that spiritual education and worldly education. I would like to just tell one very brief story. When Lord Parsuram, he went to Lord Shiva to get himself educated. So Lord Parsuram told Lord Shiva that I want to get Brahma Vidya, I want to get educated in Brahma Vidya, and you are my guru, so you have to educate myself. Then Lord Shiva told Parsuram, look, Parsuram, I will train you with the Brahma Vidya, but first of all, you have to make your body and mind pure. And for that purpose, yam and niyam, you will have to follow. And yam, ahimsa satya asteya brahmacharya aparigraha. And niyam, sauch, santosh, tap, swadhyay, and ishwar pranidhan. Niyam. So yam and niyam you have to follow. So in various ways, our yam and niyam that have been described in various texts as the foundations of values. So those values we have to inculcate in our students. Mahamana Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya ji, he told that character building is more important than knowledge empowerment. We are empowering an individual with the knowledge, but much more important is to build his character. And Swami Vivekananda ji also emphasized the purpose of education should be man-making. The purpose of education is manifestations of everything what a person has. Means development of the body, development of mind, development of intellect, development of soul. And our Gurukul system of education was based on these pillars. Sarvangini Vikas, the integral development of the personality, holistic development of personality, development of body, development of mind, development of intellect, and development of soul. The development of soul, Atmik Vikas, what we talk about these days, our Vedas, scriptures. If you look into our Vedas, Vedas are that treasure of knowledge, whatever we can talk about, the worldly knowledge or transcendental knowledge, that treasure. So all our Vedas are to talk about the human being, what we are, what is Atma, what is Paramatma, like that. And that is the philosophy of our Indian culture. Our all Vedas, if you look into the Mahavakya of Vedas, that Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvam Asi. They are the principles of Advaita Vedanta, was Swami Vivekananda ji propagated. That Aham Brahmasmi, the Brahm is in me, Brahm is with you. And that is the philosophy. Atmavat Pardareshu Pardrabyesu Lostavat. Atmavat Sarvabhutesu Yah Pasyati Sah Pandita. Atmavat Sarvabhutesu Yah Pasyati Sah Pandita means we should see others like us. So, such type of things that we are most of the time concerned with this is mine, this is yours. Ayam Nijah Parobiti Gana Lagu Chetasam, Udar Charitanam Hitu, Basudhaiva Kutumbakam. Our philosophy is that entire universe is us. So that love that affection with each other that uh, our philosophy, Indian philosophy, has taught us. So these values, and that's why the NEP focuses on holistic and multidisciplinary education. That holistic education, holistic development, that Malviya also told that holistic development of an individual should be the core philosophy of education. So the holistic development of a person is must. We must prepare capsule courses like that, whether it is online education or through general education. And apart from that a student should be rooted in Indian culture. For that purpose, the another, that Indian knowledge system, very, very important. Whatever subject we are teaching, whether it is physics, chemistry, or mathematics, we know, by now we know very well, and it has been well documented, that the origin of most of the scientific discoveries, they are rooted in our Vedas, Rig Veda, Atharva Vedas, or Vedic related texts propounded by our various rishis and saints. Just to give a few examples, I can quote over here, just very briefly. For example, if we look into the various principles of physics, like atomic theory and others, the gravitations, about the laws of gravitations, it has been described, about the gravitation, it has been described in Rig Veda, Atharva Veda. Later on, later on various, like Maharshi Kanad in 600 BC, he describes in Vaisheshik Sutra about the principle of gravity. He describes about the atomic structure, that's the smallest element which we go on dissecting, we get atoms and molecules. So this, and later on, after nearly 2000 years of that Maharshi Newton gave in 16th century the laws of gravitation and laws of motion. So many of such things, like if we talk about the chemistry, we had Nagarjuna in 200 AD. Many principles of chemistry and alchemy, conversion of metals, conversion of mercury into gold. So there is treasure of knowledge about the medical sciences, Acharya Susruta, 600 BC. The Ayurveda, that Ayurveda is not only a science, it is a philosophy also. How we can keep our body, free of various types of diseases. So all these texts, now these texts are being made available. So we should take essence from those texts, and wherever we are teaching to the students, we should integrate our Indian knowledge system related to that particular discipline, and we should teach our students. So our students will feel pride, they will derive pride in our Indian culture, because it is very, very essential that our students should get rooted in our Indian culture and traditions. And since we have to produce our global citizens, there are priority areas, international priority areas, as well as national priority areas also fixed by our government, various priority areas. For example, just we are talking about the semiconductor and electronics. Whatever gadgets we are using, mobile phones or laptops or whatever may be, different types of computer, most of the chips we are importing. So during the last few months, certain manufacturing factories have been announced in Gujarat and other parts of the country. So there are a lot of opportunities, semiconductor, electronics. Likewise, that green energy transitions, we are looking for how to get renewable sources of energy, that is solar energy, wind energy, installations in many other different areas. And information and communication technology, there are various possibilities, Internet of Things, IoT, and others. So we have to identify that areas which are needed in future generations, for the youngsters, that artificial intelligence, machine learning, and many others. And those courses we have to develop. And especially in open and distance learning, we have to see that how we can simulate, how we can create a virtual labs, and how these courses can become more and more interactive for their students, so that students can easily grasp those lessons, so that we can prepare the workforce, especially skilled workforce, to bridge the gap between the requirement of the factories, requirement of the society, and what type of academicians we are producing. Because in the last years, if we can look into, the educational system, somehow there has been a gap between the requirement and what we are producing. And that has led to unemployment. So we have to address these issues very efficiently, and open and distance learning, in my opinion, has more relevance in this area to address the unemployment and to fulfill the demands of the factory and the requirement of the society. So with these few words, and I must tell that the hospitality and other arrangement really wonderful, and all of you will appreciate. And yesterday we enjoyed a very nice cultural evening. So thanks to Madam and her team. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insightful words and guidance. Moving ahead, we are honored with the esteemed presence of one of the prominent personalities, Professor Nageshwar Rao, the Vice Chancellor of IGNOU. Sir has served as the Vice Chancellor of Uttarakhand Open University, Haldwani.
Good morning to all of you. On the dais, the chairperson of this great institution, Professor Saroj Sharma ji, my friends and colleague Dr. Bashir Ahmed, Director CEMCA, who is always smiling whenever he organizes a great event like this. Respected Professor R.S. Dubey ji, Vice Chancellor of Central University of Gujarat, and my old colleague and friend, Professor Alok Chakrawal. Before me, in the distinguished dignitaries from various countries of the world, along with my old friends, Professor Sitaram Rao, Vice Chancellor of the first Open University of the country, Dr. Sanjay Tiwari ji, who is from my own state and also the Vice Chancellor of MP Bhoj Open University. Karamjit Singh ji, he is my colleague in the discipline and presently the Vice Chancellor of the youngest Open University of the country. Professor? Acha, acha, acha. Yes, I know. And the Vice Chancellor of Nasik, na? YCMOU, I know him. So just I am coming to him from this I started. So that will be. So all my distinguished colleagues and my old friends of NIOS. First of all, I thank Saroj ji for inviting me to be present before all of you on this auspicious occasion and to listen to all of you on a theme which is of great interest to all of us, that is perspectives and innovations in the ODL. Topic, it's of great interest to me also. And I must share some of the details with pride about our open and distance learning system in the country. And I know that how Saroj ji is doing a great job, especially to meet our young children for whom earlier there was no other way except to study privately, and somehow they get their higher education and they miss the higher education also, and even this secondary education also, because they are the suppliers to all of us. If our secondary education and the primary education is being strengthened, then only we can see the strengthening of the higher education. Open and distance learning, for which there are different milestones which we find during the last 10 years, and they all are very, very important. Before 2015, we have nothing in black and white to run our system. We have got the enactments, and some state open universities were also there. Central University was also there, NIOS was also there, and dual mode institutions, they were also existing. Of course, the initial efforts in the distance education, it was being made by the dual mode institutions like Allahabad University or the Delhi University. There, the correspondence course, and subsequently they have also converted themselves into the open and distance learning system. For the first time, the major initiative which in our country, in this area, it was being done by the Government of India in 2016, when Ministry of Education has thought of setting up a portal on SWAYAM and started developing courses on SWAYAM that promotes the program-based, the course-based learning instead of the program-based learning. And more than 3,000 courses are available now. And these courses, they vary from the social sciences, humanities, the engineering, management, education, etc. And they have become very, very popular. And the present strength of learners of this SWAYAM portal is more than 4 crores. And this education is being provided free of cost, and it can be used by anyone from the country. Number is continuously increasing. In 2020, this number was only 2 crores. Now it has crossed 4 crores. So you'll see that it does not require any eligibility conditions. It does not require any sort of discipline background also. A student of Hindi also can join a course in physics and clear that examination. It is under 4-quadrant approach. NTA is conducting the test, and its certificates are valid all over the country. The second step is the Ministry of Education's initiative is to go for the SWAYAM Prabha channels. It was in 2017. And right now, NIOS is also having 2 or 3, 4 SWAYAM Prabha channels. We are also fortunate to have 6 SWAYAM Prabha channels with us. So if you look into it, the government has given us 10 SWAYAM Prabha channels out of 40. Only these 2 institutions, IGNOU and the NIOS. So look at the importance which the government has attached to us. And through that, we try to reach to the learners all over the country. And in that, what we do is we give the live interactive sessions with the learners. Especially during the corona, we found that our importance was very, very significant. And at the doorsteps of the learners, we tried to reach our own videos, and our resource persons, they reached to them and provided the higher education, secondary education, and all sorts of skill-based education also. Then the regulatory framework, for the first time, it has come to our country in 2017, ODL regulations. Before that, we don't have any regulations. Then in 2018, we have got the online regulations, that also for the first time. Before that, we were also having some online programs, but haphazard processes, they are being followed. Because of that, these programs have been discontinued, and the government intervened those processes. Then in 2020, we have got a resolution of ODL and online, and saying that both are complementary to each other. And for the first time, the government has also said that the degrees which you get under the conventional mode and the degrees which you get under the ODL mode or online mode, both will be considered as equivalent. Before 2020, we don't have such sort of equivalence which is being recognized by the Government of India. And you see that the NEP 2020, it has opened up almost all areas for which earlier they were reluctant to see that the open and distance learning institutions should not go forward. One area is skilling. I do remember in 2016, skilling, no, Open University is not allowed to do any sort of skilling. They are not being permitted to run any skill courses. Now NCVT is coming to us. Yesterday, Chairperson NCVT has come to you. NSDC is coming to us to explore the possibilities of linking our courses, integrating our courses along with the skill-based courses. And NCVT is more closely looking into the areas where our own courses, they can be recognized as the skill courses all over the country. Because we know that our reach, that is very, very important. We are everywhere, any state, any village, any city. Even we are in jails also. So look at our access and look at our reach and also the affordability. And this affordability is one of the greatest attribute which we possess. On account of that, when we look at the global scenario, everywhere they are looking at us to find out that how we are running our programs at an affordable cost to the learners. 3 years back, I was invited to UK Open University, and there I was given that award also. They do have a meeting of all the open universities of the world. Around 50 to 60 open universities were there. And to share our concerns, share our problems. And you know that the UK Open University was the pioneer as far as the open and distance learning system is concerned. When we were discussing about the issues, then most of the institutions, they are having problems with respect to funding, with respect to the cost of education, with respect to the reach, and also the role of the media, how it can be used to reach to the doorstep of the learners. When they raised queries for me also, I said I don't have any problems. It's not possible for any institutions to say that it does not have any problems. They say that your fees might be very heavy. I said it is not. We are charging 5,000 rupees for BCom, and they were charging 5,000 pounds for BCom per year. Look at the magnitude of cost. Government support, we are having that. Funding, we are having almost, you know that government does not provide us funds, presuming that we have got a lot of funds. So fund issue is not there. Reach is not there. And international reach is also with us. You ask Sarojji, he has also lots of international connect. Our own NIOS is also having lots of connect, and people are trying to reach to us to see that how their learners, they can be trained, they can be provided with reasonable cost to support their activities. You all might be knowing that our universities of the nearby countries, the Sri Lanka Open University and the Bangladesh Open University, they were having some sort of technical support which was given by us in the beginning itself. Recently, the Open University of Kenya has also come to us to say that we are 3-month-old baby, and they want the support that how to go for an open university and how to provide a structural base which may be helpful for them to reach their own countrymen in their own language. So things are moving very fast. And in almost all the open universities, except 3 to 4, Pakistan and maybe the China, our open universities, they are much, much bigger. Nasik Open University, look into it. They are having around 20 lakh students. IGNOU is having 35 lakh students. And if you look at the open universities in other Asian countries, except China and other, you'll find that their strength is 10 to 15,000. In one of the regional centers, in one of the study centers in Delhi, we can have 50,000 also. So you see the magnitude of reach, the magnitude of the access which we are having with all our learners. And also at an affordable cost, the quality of materials. And now we are also going with those materials which we can provide in mother tongue also. That is most important thing. Recently, 1 month back, Honorable Minister has convened a meeting of all the institutions of the country, including universities also. And there he tried to see that regarding the implementation of NEP, what is the role of all the universities? Out of 1,000 universities, Nasik Open University was present over there. Nasik Open University and along with Indira Gandhi National University, both were considered one of the two are from open universities and 2 are from conventional universities. They are being recognized as the topmost universities who are contributing in the field of ABC. So you see that any challenge which is being put before us. Regarding implementation of NEC also, at that point of time, our numbers in ABC was 33 lakhs. Now today I tried to check it that how much was that number, they said it is 74 lakhs. So within 1 month, how we can increase the pace to identify the accounts of those learners who are with us. So our pace is very fast. National Digital Locker. Here we see that once we start using the NDL facilities, again it is the Government of India support free of cost available to us. You see that we can distribute our degrees on the same day to our learners free of cost. That facility is also available with us. It is also the support which we are getting through blockchain method. That blockchain method is also available to all of us free of cost by NDL. Today itself at 1:30 or so, I have to meet with the officials there. They came to us and they requested us that please provide us an opportunity that they want to distribute my degrees, university's degrees, through their processes. And on the same day, they would like to put all those degrees in the digital locker also. It has happened in the convocation day. As the chief guest has clicked the button, all the degrees, they reach to the locker also immediately without any process. You see that that sort of technological interventions we are having with us. And through that, we can reach, we can see that NEP implementation, we can do it at a much, much faster pace. 4-year PG, UG programs, for that also we are entering into a big way. NCVT, Madam is also knowing that how the Agnivir, their skill integration process, it has been conducted by NIOS for armies, for Navy, and for the this Air Force. Because how to integrate the knowledge and skills, only that ability also is with us. Innovations, look at any area of NEP. Vocationalization, NSDC is now coming to us to say that how the industry partners, they can come to help us in supporting our academic initiatives and how the apprenticeship training, it can be integrated to our programs. There also we are being getting lots of support from everywhere. So you see that our graduates, they are becoming now more and more employable. AICT has also come up to recognize most of our courses, MBA, MCA. Earlier we are doing it our own. Now AICT has come that we are going to recognize your programs. And almost all our open universities, they are going for that. NAC accreditation process. This we started in 2021. And you see that out of 15 open universities, 13 open universities, they have completed their NAC accreditation process. I may be wrong, 13, and only one is not completed because it has not completed the minimum 5 years requirement. 100% accreditation process is completed. And that is also, once we see that the accreditation numbers also, half of them they got A or A+. More than half of the institutions, they got A or A+. And the parameters, they're almost the same, which the conventional universities also having. And there, the accreditation process is complete only to the extent of 33% or so. I don't know exactly. Sanjay ji is having a good number of statistics he has created for that. So even whenever any quality parameters they are being put on us, we immediately accepted that. And recently, when the NBA has thought of having this ranking process, accreditation ranking, for that also, they asked the open universities. And I think almost 8 to 9 open universities registered themselves for this accreditation also, ranking also. We are ready for any sort of quality parameters which have been put on us. So recognition, the reach, the affordability, the quality, put us on any parameters. We are there and we are providing the quality education to our learners. In some of the states, what the students, they say that about us, that we have got a strict academic calendar. We conduct our examinations normally in the month of June or December. And we declare our results within a period of 1 month or so. And in some case of conventional institutions, it becomes very difficult to maintain that academic schedule. So we see that it is coming up in a big way. New open universities are also coming up. And everywhere, the regulatory framework is also looking into it. that the quality standards, the minimum recognition parameters, they're also being specified. The same is true for the online programs also. And here we see that around 80 institutions, they have come up in a big way, and now we are reaching to around 10 lakh learners in the online programs also, which are equally affordable, and we can reach to almost all countries of the world through these online programs. So the NEP tells us that we have to help the country in attaining that goal of GER, increase it from 27% to 50%. Yes, we all can do it. And that is the importance which we all have to feel, that how much national contribution we all are doing in these endeavors. And that is why I think both of us are with the direct ministry. Ministry is directly dealing with us to provide us all sort of supports and facilities to see that how we can provide quality education to our young learners. Once again, I thank Sarojji for giving me an opportunity to be with you all, and the type of activities which she is carrying on along with the director CEMCA, they're really appreciable. I know that how CEMCA is contributing a lot in all these endeavors. All our OER policies, they have been supported with the CEMCA. CEMCA has given useful inputs to all of us, international inputs also with us, so that we could also develop an OER policy and try to see that that OER policy is also being implemented to have our quality teaching learning process, and through that the learners will also be benefited. We are also having a strong alumni connect base also, and almost all the open universities, they are trying to strengthen that base also. Things are moving very fast, and we will get good results. And that is what the nation also wants from us, and we all are working like the soldiers for this open and distance learning. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Your knowledge, wisdom, and unwavering dedication and guidance for upscaling the education for the betterment of society and academia will surely motivate us to do more. Thank you once again for gracing the occasion with your presence.
NIOS has been collaborating with various national and international organizations for its different projects and activities. And our collaborations with CEMCA or Commonwealth of Learning are also not new. They have supported NIOS in development of policies, guidelines, programs, and resource sharing, networking, capacity building, and many others. Even the capacity building cell of NIOS was established on the basis of the recommendations made by a study commissioned by Commonwealth of Learning Canada. I would like to bring to the notice of everyone that in the conference, around 110 papers were presented in the technical sessions in the preceding 2 days. To present the highlights of the international conference and international collaboration in ODL, and to conclude the conference along with a brief of the conference report, I invite Dr. Bashir Ahmed Shadrach, Director CEMCA, our knowledge partner for this conference. Sir, please.
Thank you so much, Professor Nageshwar Rao, the chairperson of today's valedictory function, Professor Alok Chakrawal, Professor Rama Shankar Dubey, Professor Saroj Sharma, and a number of vice chancellors amongst the audience today, and our colleagues from Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Maldives, and Nepal, and various researchers who joined us today, and my colleagues from NIOS, National Institute of Open Schooling, and CEMCA. It's my privilege to basically summarize the outcomes of the event, the last 2 days of our work, last 3 days of our work in a very key nutshell. In a way, Professor Surinder Jit Baba, Vice Chancellor, Guru Kashi University was the main rapporteur of this entire event, assisted by a good team of rapporteurs from the NIOS and CEMCA. Unfortunately, she could not be present today, so I'm doing her job. But I should acknowledge the contribution made by the rapporteurs from NIOS and CEMCA in this particular effort. So the objectives of the conference was mainly to bring actors together to deliberate upon the critical issues that underpin education and skills landscape. To discuss this, we also wanted to figure out if and how open and distance learning modes of educational provision can be harnessed further. And we identified 7 different sub-themes and deliberated upon over the last 3 days. The sub-themes are well known to you, ranging from policy to technology to pedagogy to inclusiveness, inclusive access, quality, and equity, and the integration and provision of vocational education through ODL and international collaboration. So these were the themes that were discussed over the last two days. Now, we also looked into the possibilities of identifying best practices during this event and innovations in terms of how the ODL stakeholders can seize opportunities. And numerous opportunities were mentioned earlier on by our esteemed speakers. On one hand, we looked at ODL as a pathway for seizing opportunities facing us, but also, on the other hand, to address a variety of gaps there exist in various nations in terms of skilling and education, and how do you address those challenges through the ODL mode. We also looked into the aspects of the national priorities set out by various governments. And as you know, the SDG Goal 4 is an outcome of various governments' commitment towards the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly making education inclusive for all and also making it lifelong. We also looked at the supply and demand gap. There exists, particularly after the tertiary level, the gap that exists between the supply that comes out of the education system and the demand that the marketplace looks into. But also we did not lose sight of the aspirations of individuals, particularly the young generation learners who have different aspirations and who also have, to some extent, impatience in terms of pursuing one singular line of education. So their interests and aspirations are quite varied. But not only the young learners, but we also looked into the lifelong learners because that's a commitment. Finally, we also looked at the collaborations as to how we could collaborate within the nation and also across the nations. And within the nations, we looked at how do we collaborate across systems, from primary to secondary, post-secondary, tertiary systems. How could we collaborate? How could we collaborate as institutions? How could we collaborate as open education systems and the conventional education systems and the graduation from schooling system to the tertiary? With regard to the international collaboration, we looked into in the last 3 days aspects of international mobility, workers' mobility, issues of equivalency, resource sharing, and the larger goal, which earlier our esteemed speaker, Professor Rama Shankar Dubey, mentioned, the global citizenry and the global outlook that we need to look into. So, based on these premise and the objectives, we deliberated upon over the last 3 days, where we had more than 250 plus participants, more than 50 invited speakers, more than 100 researchers presenting papers, and people from at least 5 nations physically present, and also from African presenters from African countries were also there. and the entire Commonwealth countries were exemplified. And we had hybrid mode of deliberations in the last 3 days. And it's a stunning collaborative effort of NIOS and CEMCA. So I want to quickly run through the outcomes of the conference in a very rapid manner. With regard to the policy frameworks, we recognized that the national level, we need to graduate from national level policies. There are quite a few good instruments, not only the national level educational policies in various countries that were present in this conference, which exemplified their national education policies, and NEP 2020 was one of the stars of the discussions. But there are quite a lot of other instruments like credit framework, national curriculum frameworks, credit transfer frameworks, national skills qualifications framework. There are quite a few instruments that are available for us to take advantage of. But I think what is the need of the hour is to translate the national vision and the national policy framework into the institutional practices, where we have 45,000 constituent and designated colleges, 1,100 plus universities, 8.5 million schools, and 1.5 million teachers, and the whole gambit of the learning society would need to be looked into. So in this, we recognize that each institution would best benefit from its own ODL policy, open education resources policy, technology-enabled learning policy, and the guidelines in terms of taking it to the next phase. And in all this, we also recognize that the regulations are there to guide us in terms of implementation, but to what extent we can make it soft touch while enhancing the institutional capabilities to deliver results in a quality manner. So this was something that we discussed, and one of the outcomes of this event. With regard to technology-enabled learning practices, of course, we noted the artificial intelligence, the onset of ChatGPT, the virtual reality and extended reality immersive learning experiences, and a whole range of appropriate technologies that are available at our disposal in terms of taking education and skills across to rural and remote areas. And here we also recognized that there is a need for us to also, as a community of open and distance learning community here, to think about the ethical use of AI and also regulate AI in a manner that it becomes a subservient agent rather than a dominant agent for the society. So these aspects came out of our discussions. When it comes to the pedagogical aspects, the third theme of our event, we looked at a variety of areas, particularly with regard to open and distance learning, the blended learning approaches and the blended learning design and the models that are at play. But in addition to that, how can we engage project-based, problem-based, action-oriented learning processes, but also in relation with the industry and the workplace, how can we also integrate workplace-based learning and the various schemes and provisions in the national policies that we see in terms of even online apprenticeships and others, so that our pedagogical practices are aligned. And in this, we noted that there is an enormous need for building the capacity of the educators. Almost 10 million educators we have in our country. And there is a need for invigorating our capacity building program in the pedagogical approaches and the newer innovations, not only in teaching and learning practices, but also assessment, but also learner support, and ensuring that the mental well-being and others are also taken into consideration. The fourth theme of the conference was inclusive access, equity, and quality. And oftentimes we are reminded of the fact that the ODL system has gone to the nook and corners of the country, reached the last mile, but we also recognize that when it comes to inclusiveness, there are a variety of other stakeholders that we need to closely work with, be it children with specific learning disabilities, how can they take advantage of the ODL system, persons with disability, gender issues, although ODL has demonstrated that gender issues are well tackled through the ODL system, we need to continue to move ahead. From the inclusiveness domain, there have been a lot of mentions about our ability to reach out to people in prisons, transgenders and others, but there has not been a concerted national effort in terms of developing a strategy in which all the ODL institutions can play a role and take it to the next level of demonstrating results. Individually, we are doing. We have islands of excellence, but aligned with various instruments within the nation, the various nations that were present here, we need to now look into inclusiveness strategies. With regard to the vocational education, which was the sixth theme of the event, there has been a recognition, and Professor Nageshwar Rao very aptly mentioned that the skilling ecosystem is looking at the ODL ecosystem for solutions. Now, this is where I think we have an enormous opportunity, but also a challenge. On one hand, we often are reminded by this 50% GER by 2035 as a target to achieve from 27 to 50. In other words, with regard to the higher education, from 40 million to perhaps 100 million. That kind of enrollment we are staring at. At the school level, the out-of-school children are about 20 million. So there is a huge opportunity for us to seize, but look at the aspect of lifelong learning. Look at the aspect of skill ecosystem. Then the numbers really multiply. It is no longer the 50% GER from the kind of the education, the captive learning age landscape. We are looking at lifelong learners, which means 800 million citizens of this country, the active contributors to the economy, including the informal and informal sector workers, are to be looked into for skilling, reskilling, and upskilling. While NSDC and NCVAT have their own game plan in terms of reaching out to the current workforce, ODL systems can offer the complementary support in terms of reskilling and upskilling. And we had a lot of ideas that emerged, right from looking at very simple micro and nano credit credentials and others that could be introduced through the ODL system, to industry-aligned, market-aligned courses that can be promoted through the ODL system, right from the school level. And in the higher education level, we had examples shown in terms of how after 10th standard, people can use the ODL system to earn a livelihood in terms of receiving that certification and skills for their future. So actually the landscape is not just 50% GER, it's all about the entire population in this country, including the elderly population, and how do we use the ODL systems to ensure that they all become productive agents, the future workforce that on one hand contribute to the economy, on the other hand to the value systems, to the variety of thought processes that are underpinning the NEP 2020 and the national policies in terms of producing the values, the global citizenry and all that. And in all this, we looked at various exemplars, innovations, innovative ideas. And I'm glad that the conference produced quite a lot of wonderful innovations for us to think through. And there will be a very detailed report which would identify each of those innovations that were highlighted and discussed. What are the takeaways? I want to quickly run through the takeaways. One of the takeaways for us is we need to gather evidence to demonstrate our effectiveness. Oftentimes, as much we know that we are contributing to the society, the speak has to be from the other side also, in terms of them, the entire ecosystem recognizing, whether it is the marketplace, the employers, the policymakers and others, equally recognizing ODL as not just an as alternative system, but as the mainstay for the entire citizenry of each of the country, whether it is 500,000 population in the Maldives or 1.4 billion population in India. Across these communities, we need to demonstrate our evidence with data-based evidence. We need to strengthen institutions. This is where policies and practices, building capacity of our teachers and educators come into play. So that it's not just a building capacity for today, it's for tomorrow and the day after, for the future world. We need to also come together to demonstrate our collectiveness, the collective advocacy, and there have been ideas proposed in the last session. And we need to plan continually. We can't be complacent with the numbers and the targets and the achievements of today. We need to continually plan in a smart manner so that we can demonstrate our results in an achievable, target-oriented, realistic, measurable, and specific manner. And we need to also achieve targets. It's not enough to have plans, but we need to achieve targets and position ourselves as a very formidable force that commands respect, and the NSDCs and NCVTs coming to us, which is a very great demonstration of commanding our position and the results. So there are, in the last session, there are two sets of opportunities that we highlighted. At the international level, there have been ideas around how do we share our resources amongst the participating nations and institutions for public good and global citizenry. We also looked at internationalization in the open education domain, which can exemplify our national achievements. We also looked at the best practices and best fit solutions around the world, which could be made available as knowledge sharing. We looked into mobility of students at the international level. We also recognize that the workers and the workplace are changing, and we need to prepare our workforce for the future of work. At the national level, we also identified that we need to close the gap between the national and provincial systems in open schooling, whether it is NIOS vis-a-vis SIOS. And there has been a good exemplar in terms of the tertiary education system. IGNOU has such a seamless relationship with the state open universities, but a similar aspect could be seen in the future at the open schooling level, whereby we could also see as equivalent to the consortium of open universities, there could be an open schooling system. So that that is a possibility. And also there is a seamless transition from the open schooling system to the open tertiary education system, particularly in terms of the skilling ecosystem, so that we all become flexible and we are aligned to the national policies and priorities for achieving our results. In closing, NIOS has been a great leader, and Professor Saroj Sharma has once again proven and demonstrated that she is somebody who can pull everyone together. And it has been such a wonderful opportunity for CEMCA, my own organization, to work with her in terms of bringing the open university ecosystem and also the experts from other countries who could all come together so that we could indeed make this an international event. Conferences produce ideas, but collective actions only produce results. I think we need to take that last session, the open house, where we highlighted collaboration as key to actually achieving outcomes. And let's work together, bring many more actors to our stakeholdership, and continue this journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir, for the statistics and briefly summarizing the conference along with the objectives, outcomes, major opportunities, and key takeaways from the conference, and giving a wonderful conclusion to the conference. Thank you, sir. As we depart from this gathering, let us carry with us a spirit of curiosity, creativity, to research and publish on different areas of open and distance learning. I would also like to say that we may not have been perfect, may have made mistakes, but we have tried to do our best. We would take responsibility for our mistakes and will certainly do a better job tomorrow. Request you to just remember the best and leave the rest. Here I invite Secretary and NIOS Colonel Shakil Ahmed to propose formal vote of thanks for the session. Sir, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm the man standing between you and the lunch, but I have to have a long list to thank, and I'll try and do justice to it. Okay. Honorable guests, esteemed speakers, distinguished delegates, our friends from foreign countries, respected chairperson, inspiring participants, and my friends and family from NIOS and CEMCA. As we draw the curtains on this enlightening 3-day of seminar on perspective, innovation in open and distant learning, I feel elated, not because the seminar is finished, but for what we have learned, what we have gathered, challenges we have identified, because I feel identification of challenge is the first step in finding a solution. I will repeat what I said on the first day. Thank you is such a strong prayer that it cannot be seen or touched, but it has to be felt from bottom of the heart. It has two connotations, I said that day. First, bottom of heart. I hope that we, as combined team of NIOS and CEMCA, has touched all your hearts. We have left no stone unturned to touch your heart. But the other aspect is more important, which I mentioned, that we will try our level best to extract all ounce of wisdom that this esteemed delegates has to offer. And sir, the director of CEMCA just gave you a glimpse of what we have gathered. The after-action report will reflect all of it, and I assure you all will be followed. With this as a backdrop, on behalf of the combined team of NIOS and CEMCA, it is my singular honor and privilege to propose a vote of thanks for this wonderfully conducted seminar. I begin with, we want to extend my warm regards to Professor Alok Kumar Chakrawal, the Vice Chancellor, Guru Ghasidas Vishwavidyalaya, Bilaspur, and Professor Ramasankar Dubey, Vice Chancellor, Central University, Gujarat, for their special address. Sir, we thank you for your presence and insight on the open and distance learning and the importance of embracing our culture and heritage if we have to achieve our academic goal. We are very fortunate to have you here, sir. We express our gratitude to Professor Nageshwar Rao, the Vice Chancellor of IGNOU, for his inspiring presidential address, sir. It is a great honor to listen to you whenever we have to, and educating us on the ODL system, how it has evolved, where we are heading, and how we are aspiring to achieve the goal of NEP, and the milestones that we try to achieve in both the skill and the academic access through ODL. Thank you very much, sir. We thank Dr. Bashir Ahmad Shadrat for taking the gems out of the wisdom that we have gathered and delivering in such a short time in his conference report and concluding remarks. Thank you very much, sir. I propose a special thanks to all our distinguished delegates for their taking valuable time, whether in the online mode or the offline mode, for coming here. Sir, your thought-provoking ideas that you gave during the plenary sessions, they were the bedrock on which the technical sessions were developed. It inspired us, got to a different level, and the wisdom and the outcome that we got from the technical session was heartwarming. But I want to mention the second aspect, more importantly, your physical presence here has given us the opportunity to relish the simplicity that you displayed. I am totally amazed how such great personalities together display the same simplicity, same humanism. All of you, sir, this is the first time I'm meeting so many vice chancellors, and many of us will not get to meet so many vice chancellors in our life again. But I'm convinced that knowledge is wisdom, and knowledge and wisdom together makes a man simple. Thank you for being with us, sir. I'll be failing in my duty if we don't thank our young, aspiring, and motivated participants for their contribution. They are the future of the country, and the numbers, as was mentioned in the conference report, speaks volume about their zeal, enthusiasm of the participants to learn, share, and disseminate learning. Thank you for being with us, and thank you for your contribution. You all will agree with me that an event of this dimension could not have happened overnight. The wheels started rolling months in advance. We have been fortunate enough to have backed by a very motivated and dedicated combined team of NIOS and CEMCA, led by two of our dynamic directors, who showed their willingness and flawless and expressed their commitment in flawless conduct of this mega event. Thank you very much. Special thanks to my silent workers. I call them silent because we don't see them. But everything depends on them. The administrative staff, the transportation department, the people who arrange the food, the people who clean the dais, who ensured that this mic was working perfectly, the YouTube link was working. A special thanks to them for making our stay comfortable so that all of us could concentrate on the main event. What was the main event? To gather wisdom, could gather the challenges and bring, achieve the aim of this conference. Thank you very much. I will also take this opportunity to express my gratitude to the media team and the national media for covering this event in such good manner and for playing their part in this noble cause. Thank you very much. So I also take this opportunity to express my gratitude for all the dignitaries, professors from the friendly foreign countries for your presence here. We have been enlightened, and thank you for visiting us and sharing your insight. I also thank Dr. Bashir Ahmed Sadrat and his team for their unwavering collaboration and support. We have become a team, and I hope this team carries, our bonding goes ahead, and we organize many much events in the future for cause of education. Thank you very much. I take this privilege as the youngest member of NIOS family, youngest not by rank or designation, but by the virtue of number of days I spent here, to thank God for blessing the team NIOS with culture of positivity, teamwork, and integration. Thank you, God, and keep us like this. Thanks a lot. And last but not the least, I'd like to thank our dynamic, ever-smiling chairperson, Professor Saroj Sharma ma'am, for having the vision to organize this event, supporting us, guiding us, and ever all having faith in us to organize. And having faith, ma'am, it's not for you, it's for them. I will narrate two incidents and speak in Hindi. I was sitting in the office. I've just joined 20 days back. There's a concern, I was not worried, but there was concern on the face. International event, so many vice chancellors coming, so many dignitaries coming. she just said, she didn't ask me anything. She said just, परेशान नहीं होइए, बहुत अच्छे लोग हैं, बहुत काबिल लोग हैं, सब चीज हो जाएगा. Second incident, on 31st evening, Dr. Vijay gave her a message, ma'am, things are ready, would you like to come and see? She replied back, I have faith in you, you will do better. Ma'am, thank you for having faith in us. It only motivates us to work harder and perform better. And I will be lying, we all will be lying if we say we are not mentally exhausted, physically tired. But we deserve something. We all deserve a pat on our back for doing such a great job. So I'll request all of you to join me in applauding each other. Thank you, everybody. May God bless us. May we all be the catalyst of change to making India the academic and skill capital of the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful vote of thanks. Now I request the organizing committee of the conference to please come up on the stage. Request the heads of the departments of NIOS to join us, please.
You have just heard our secretary speaking so politely, और कर्नल हैं, कर्नल लगते नहीं हैं ये. इतना जेंटल, इतना सीधा कर्नल तो मैंने देखा ही नहीं आज तक. So we have snatched you from Indian Army to this academic institution. I think decision is good. There are two main chain bearers जो इस conference के director हैं, Dr. राजीव कुमार सिंह और श्री विजय कुमार जी, Director Student Support and Director Academic. Director Evaluation, हमारे बोर्ड एग्जाम शुरू होने वाले हैं और अभी इनको खींच के बुलाया गया कि भाई आ जाओ. तो he was so busy in his work और throughout रहा. Director Vocational, please come. लेफ्टिनेंट कर्नल बंसल, आर्मी की छावनी बन गई है थोड़ी सी, तो इसीलिए डिसिप्लिन हो जाता है और काम भी बहुत अच्छा हो जाता है. और बाकी जो दोनों, इनका भी आर्मी से काफ़ी संबंध रहा है, राजीव जी का और विजय जी का. और जो ये मैंने कल कहा भी था कि जो आग लगाने वाला होता है ना, कि किसी चीज़ में, वो वाला आग नहीं, जो दीप प्रज्वलित करते हैं, तो वो यहाँ पे है मिस कंचन काचरू. ये यूरेका जो है ना, जो यूरेका का आइडिया था, किसका था? आर्किमिडीज का. तो ये इन्हीं के दिमाग में आया था कि मैम इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस करते हैं, बहुत दिन हो गए, 12 साल हो गए हैं. तो इनका हेल्पिंग हैंड आप आ जाइए. आलोक कुमार गुप्ता, और एक रिसर्चर यहाँ पे, इनमें रिसर्चर कीड़ा बहुत ज़्यादा है, हमेशा रिसर्च, और 2 घंटे में कोई ना कोई पेपर इनका तैयार हो जाता है. तो ये डॉक्टर सुनीता जोशी कथूरिया, ये तीनों ने काफ़ी कुछ इसको इनिशिएशन किया. और बाद में जो हमें हेल्पिंग हैंड मिला सिमका की तरफ से, मोनिका जी का, डॉक्टर शैद्रक हैज़ बीन काइंड एनफ टू सेंड हर हियर, एंड एवरी सेकेंड और थर्ड डे शी वॉज कमिंग. सो कोर ये है, लेकिन इसके साथ जो हाथ जुड़े हुए हैं, अनीता नायर, अंशुल, जो यहाँ मीडिया, यू राइटली सेड मीडिया टीम इज सिटिंग ओवर हियर, ऑल द पीपल, हमारा मेंटेनेंस के जो लोग हैं, जिन्होंने हमें कल से इतना ताज़ा ताज़ा खाना अच्छा खिला रहे हैं, वो पूरा का पूरा हॉस्पिटैलिटी टीम, एक एक का नाम लेना संभव नहीं है। कल हमने कल्चरल देखा, वो लोग भी यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं। सो एंटायर टीम NIOS एंड एंटायर टीम सेमका, आप लोग नींव की ईंट थे, हम लोग तो कंगूरे थे, बस मंच पे बैठे हुए थे। तो इन नींव की ईंटों को सलाम, नमस्कार, थैंक यू वेरी मच। और इनफैक्ट जो तालियां बज रही हैं, this is for each and every person who is sitting over here, employees of NIOS and also from CEMCA, and all the dignitaries, you all have come over here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. Request everyone to rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा। विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा। तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मागे। गाहे तव जय गाथा, जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे, जय हे, जय हे, जय 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 हे।
Thank you, everyone. Lunch is ready and is being served at the VIP lounge for the delegates and for NIOS staff.